Okay, we're going to get this worked out before we start. So somebody help him. So do we need another chair maybe? Okay, let's get it. We want to do this right. So let's wait. We're short 4 chairs apparently. There's one. Do we need another chair? Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to say is welcome, graduates and guests. The 36th commencement of the Oregon Executive MBA is now underway, and I'm now to say you may take your seats. Make sure you have one behind you. You may take your seats. Yay! Okay, we're still not good here. Oh, we didn't need another seat. Look at that. Oh, they're like really little though. How would we know? Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jane Gordon, the University of Oregon's Vice Provost for Portland. It's my honor and true pleasure to celebrate the graduation of Oregon Executive MBA's 36th class. And because this is our program's first in-person commencement ceremony since 2019, you know why that is, we also have the pleasure of honoring members of the classes of 2020 and 2021, some of whom are here participating in today's event. So welcome to you. So welcome to the members of the classes 2022, 2021, and 2020. What an impressive group, even considering how that just went. So I've worked at the University of Oregon for over 3 decades, but it's only since I started in my role here in Portland 7 years ago that I had a chance to get better acquainted with the Oregon Executive MBA and its students. So in my role as Vice Provost, I oversee all of Portland's based graduate degree programs, several of which are geared to professionals who are already working full-time and seek to advance their careers by earning master's degrees. Among all of the graduate students here in Portland, the highly focused and hardworking group, the students of the Oregon Executive MBA still stand out. Are we going to keep clapping? Okay. We waited a long time to do lots of clapping. So each one of you graduating students already had a high level of professional experience when you came to the Oregon Executive MBA, and you pursued your degree at a time in your life when you were already busy with flourishing careers, active personal lives, and a global pandemic. So during your time in the program, I know that you discovered new abilities, overcame challenges, and forged meaningful connections with your peers, with faculty, and with alumni, which now number more than 1,200 strong. So you're joining that family. I salute your drive, ambition, and sheer hard work that has gotten you here today, and I cheer the discoveries you have made along the way and look forward to seeing everything you will accomplish in the months and years to come. So today's event centers quite rightly on all of you that I've been talking to and whose accomplishments we are honoring today. But there are others participating in today's celebration who deserve our recognition. Earning an MBA is truly a team effort. So whether it's a colleague, a spouse, a manager, a partner, a parent, a child, or all of the above, someone else, everyone here in this room and watching online has been involved in one way or another with the program. So first of all, I want to say, if any child cries or shouts, yay, don't worry about it. There are a lot of totally adorable children coming in. So anyway, in a sense, today is graduation for all of you. You've all devoted time, energy, emotion to this program and missing your student, but unfortunately, we can only give degrees to those who actually attended classes. So for those of you gathered here, your commitment is appreciated, and hopefully you will now have a little bit of more time with your new graduate. So class of 36, 35, and 34, please stand as able and applaud, turn and applaud the families, friends, and colleagues who have shared this challenge with you. So the last thing I want to say is, graduates, I really, really hope that you focus on how important this day is. It really is a big deal. It's huge. Don't downplay it. Don't be casual about it. Take the time to truly appreciate it, because so much work and commitment went into your reaching this moment. So congratulations to all of you. So now I'm going to turn the floor over to Zoe Galindo, MBA of 2022, who will introduce today's commencement speaker.
Hello, everyone from class 34, 35, 36. You're going to hear that a lot today, and all family and friends in attendance. It's awesome to have everyone together for this moment. I have the lovely pleasure of introducing our graduation commencement speaker, Dwayne Hankins, who also happens to be my boss's boss. Dwayne is entering his 10th season with the Portland Trail Blazers and his second as president of business operations. And he is an amazing, proven, and accomplished professional within the sports industry. He blazed his trail through a lot of work as an innovative and creative disruptor, focusing primarily on digital and social media. Beyond being super accomplished in his professional side of his career, he is also an impeccable leader. And that is why I nominated him to be our class speaker. Dwayne has an amazing way with people, an amazing way with business goals, and driving potential out of his staff. I'm super grateful to work under his leadership. I'm super grateful for a gloomy Zoom interview that I had with him that led me to the Portland Trail Blazers organization, and I'm super happy that our class elected him to be our class speaker today. So without further ado, Dwayne Hankins.
Well, thank you, Zoe, and thank you for letting me call you at your bachelorette party for a work call last year as well. Appreciate that. Try not to do that again. Just thank you, everybody. It's an honor to deliver this commencement address to the University of Oregon's Executive MBA graduates of 2022. So there's a few people I'd like to thank for this. Obviously, Zoe, Kit Alderais, who provided fantastic details about this year's graduating class and the program in general. And then my family, for which none of what I'm about to talk about would be even remotely possible. Specifically, my wife, Gloria, who has been an incredible support system for me for 20 years, and my two sons, Hudson and Grady, who are here, and through which I learn and relearn new things every single day. So, a bit about me. I've loved sports from a young age. So much so, and I'm admitting this in front of a room of 400 people, that I would keep notebooks with made-up teams and made-up standings and made-up scores and made-up stats. And sadly, I was never good enough to play sports at a high level. So my dream of playing in the NBA alongside Michael Jordan like I wanted to ended after 8th grade rec league basketball. I never considered that sports could be a career option again until I was in college and a senior, and as a first-generation college kid, was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So after visiting sports team websites, I saw that they had job opportunities that didn't include being an athlete. And it kind of blew my mind that you could work for a sports team and not be an athlete. So upon this discovery, I had a new ultimate dream in hand, which was to create media guides for a professional sports team. So my days of made-up standings, stats, and scores would be over, and I could enter the real thing. But 20 years later, I stand here as the Trailblazers President of Business Ops, a job I mostly never saw coming, and the culmination of accomplishing a series of small dreams, one at a time, to achieve a goal that initially seemed beyond my capabilities. And I share this story because it carries two valuable lessons for me. One, never limit yourself. You have no idea what you're capable of. And two, do exactly what you love to do. You will never work a day in your life if you take that route. So as I was thinking about what experiences and stories I thought could be helpful to share with this group, I kept going back to a consistent set of principles that have helped me throughout my career: adaptability, curiosity, disruption, and being present. And I'll spend a little bit of time talking about those. I find that when I focus on improving in these areas, no obstacle seems too difficult for me to overcome. So we'll start with adaptability, something all of you know really well. You started your MBA program during the first year of a pandemic. Both you and the university were challenged to reimagine what your education might look like under the restrictions of a global pandemic. That's a word you're probably going to hear a lot today. And like everyone else in the world, you had plenty of adaptation that you needed to manage in your life. The sheer fact that all of you managed through all of that uncertainty and added this degree that you're graduating with today is no small feat. The amount of resilience you've shown over the past 20 months is admirable. So take a second to let that soak in and give yourselves a round of applause. So in my own life, adaptability has also played a starring role, starting at a young age. As 2 moves while I was in elementary school, 2 house fires, long story there, changing my college major, working for 6 different pro sports teams in 6 different cities, and those were just in my career orbit. In fact, last week, a billionaire shoe owner decided to try to buy the Portland Trail Blazers. It just comes out of nowhere, it doesn't matter, right? In the area of things beyond my control have been the black swan events of 9/11 when I was a senior in college, the mortgage crisis and its fallout in my late 20s, and then the start of a global pandemic in my late 30s. And if I've learned any lesson in my career, it's that the only certain thing is that there's more of this uncertainty, which is why curiosity plays a really key role. Now, I met my wife more than 20 years ago, and she comes from a family where her father's a teacher, and she wanted to follow in his footsteps. We carried through a long-distance relationship for nearly 4 years before we were finally together. And while that came with its own share of adaptation, one of the greatest things I learned from her was the love of lifelong learning, and how it was her job to instill that in her students. And at the time, my 20-year-old mind was blown away by this concept, that she isn't actually in the business of trying to create a bunch of know-it-alls. We have enough of those in the world. But she was really trying to create an insatiable curiosity that would be the foundation and renewable resource of constant learning and discovery for her students. Now, you wouldn't be here today if you didn't have a desire for lifelong learning. And while this may seem like an obvious point, the learning doesn't stop here. If anything, your MBA will lead you to ask even better questions as your curiosity to understand the world is enhanced. Never stop asking questions. Your makeup, your upbringing, your crazy ideas and questions, they are what make you you. If you don't share those things with the world, we miss that perspective forever. Ask the questions, they're never too stupid. And that idea of lifelong learning never left me. It's been humbling and rewarding and motivating. It's helped me realize that I don't always need to be the expert in the room, and to ensure that those who I work with be as insatiably curious as I am. I've seen a lot of people who are described or self-described as experts, and I think that's a dangerous place to be. Once you believe you're an expert on something, you stop learning. Surely Blockbuster Video was an expert business at renting VHS and DVD movies to consumers, and that expertise only lasts so long before the ground shifts beneath your feet. Stay curious. If you do that, you'll find it much easier to disrupt. Speaking of disruption, allow me to tell you a quick story about how it feels to disrupt something. Number 1, it's not easy. 2, it can take a lot of convincing. 3, even if you successfully make your case, there's still going to be plenty of people who still don't think it's a good idea. And 4, in today's social world, everybody will tell you in real time exactly what they think of your idea. In other words, it's not for the faint of heart. And being one of the first through the wall requires courage, mental fortitude, and a whole lot of support. So my story picks up as I'm on my 45-minute commute to the LA Kings practice facility the morning after winning our Game 1 opening playoff series to the number 1 seed Vancouver Canucks. On the way into work, I'm wondering if this is going to be my last day with the company I was working for, where I was leading digital and social media for the LA Kings. You see, we barely made our way into the playoffs as the 8th seed, and our organization and fans were buzzing after a Game 1 victory against a team that had our number all season long. The reason I was concerned for my job was that 10 hours earlier, one of our digital staff members posted a tweet after our win that said, "To everyone outside of British Columbia, you're welcome." And I'll explain the context here, because by today's social media standards, which have been in precipitous decline since we posted this nearly 10 years ago, this tweet is harmless. But 10 years ago, sports teams didn't use social platforms as a way to celebrate victory or to gloat. Now, the reason we posted that tweet was because fans from all over Canada, Montreal, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, they became Kings fans overnight. Fans of those teams didn't agree on much, but they certainly agreed that they wanted to see the Canucks lose to us. We ran with it, and once we won the game, the tweet was born. And if you've never had a social post go viral, it comes with extraordinary amount of anxiety. As you're watching the replies, retweets, and engagement take off, half of your brain is telling you, relax, this is exactly what you wanted to have happen. And then the other half of your brain thinks that having this many people react so strongly to something can't possibly be a good sign. Now, backtracking a bit again, I spent the last several months convincing my employers that sports teams weren't taking advantage of this new medium of social media. They were posting boring scoring updates and links to press releases, which any fan can get on their own. We needed to be right there alongside our fans, creating the same environment on social media that we were already creating in our venues, and talking with our fans, not just at them. So I shared all these data points about engagement, the value of bringing personality to the forefront, and believed I saw an opportunity for us to take a different approach that would lead to more fans, more revenue for the organization, and more opportunities for us. But yet, this infamous tweet was the first time our approach should be tested. And quickly after it was posted, there were calls for the organization to apologize. The media throughout Canada posted it as front page news on all of their websites and newspapers, and there was no shortage of replies to the tweet calling for the person responsible, me, to be fired. And so I was driving to work that morning on very little sleep. My boss calls me on my cell, a pit in my stomach forming as I say hello. His response, these Canucks fans don't really have a sense of humor, do they? So immediately the flood of anxiety leaves. Despite all the backlash from trying something new, the Kings went on to win Sports Business Journal's most innovative franchise that year, along with, miraculously as the 8th seed, a Stanley Cup championship. So in a playoff run that included delivering tickets in a bowl of Jell-O to the actor who played Dwight from The Office, we proved that a strong disruption strategy backed by data and bought into by our leadership team could be successful, even if there were plenty of moments I thought I might lose my job. Finally, be present. I think that one's really, really important as we continue down the nonlinear path that our lives take. Things get more complex. We have our job titles, but along with that, we carry other titles such as father, mother, husband, wife, partner, son, daughter, mentor, mentee, board member. You get it. There's a lot of these. And none of these titles solely define us. And balancing all of them, that's only going to get trickier. I'd be lying if I said I had all the answers on how to manage this complexity, but as a lifelong learner myself, I will be the first to tell you that I learned something new about how to manage through all of this nearly every day. And I understand that this graduating class has people at all different stages of life, and many of you carry many of these titles already. In fact, some of you became parents, husbands, wives, got promoted, or changed jobs during the past 20 months, and you're learning to handle and balance your various new life roles. This MBA will certainly unlock plenty of new opportunities for you as well, which will mean more roles you'll have to juggle. My best advice on this, don't try to do more than one role at a time. My wife and I are the parents of 2 energetic, competitive young boys, and hopefully they'll stay in their seat, but if they don't, you'll see them, who demand a lot of attention. I'm the best dad when I'm only trying to be a dad. I'm the worst dad when my attention is focused on doing something other than being a dad. The same goes for being a husband, or a company leader, or a board member, or an employee. During my one-on-one meetings at work, I'll often toss my phone to the other side of the room if I have to, just to ensure that the person I'm meeting with gets my full attention. I'm far from perfect, though. A few months ago, my sons and I had one of those rare and legendary boys' nights, where Mom would be hanging out with her friends, and we'd get to spend the night just the 3 of us. It was a school night, but no matter, this would be plenty of time for epic bro time together before they had to go to bed. We decided to play some basketball and then grab dinner. As I was paying the tab, I answered a work call, thinking it would be quick and we could get on with boys' night. Unfortunately, the call went longer than expected, and by the time I got off, it was time for them to get ready for bed. Now, I could sense my kids' frustration, and to compound the situation, I made the mistake of reading my boys' disappointment as a desire for more screen time, which they do like, not more dad time. And when I told them that wouldn't be an option, I could see my 10-year-old trying to find the words to express what he was feeling. He bravely spoke up and expressed sadness that boys' night got set aside for a work call. I was proud of him for speaking up and heartbroken at the same time for not realizing and respecting the value that he and his brother placed on these special evenings. As I said, I'm a better dad when I'm just trying to be a dad. So the phone will be on Do Not Disturb for all boys' nights going forward. So as you think about your own lives and careers and all you have to balance in an ever-changing world, I think it's important to recognize that none of us in this room have it all figured out. But honestly, that's the fun part. We learn as we take the path. I just spoke to our staff a month ago about how our team's name is beautifully synonymous with the values we have as an organization. Our vision, to blaze trails for championships on and off the court, has multiple practical uses beyond just our company. I'm biased, but you should feel free to run with it. So with your new MBA in tow, you have all the tools you need to create your own path, to adapt to your surroundings, to blaze a trail no one has before, and to be present in the moment that you're trying to create. So take all that insatiable curiosity you now have and go change the world. It might be easier to do than you think. Thank you.
Okay, so here we are with recognition of graduates. I can't believe you're here. It's amazing. So let's have class 34, the class of 2020, stand up first, please, and make your way to your left. Anvi Catherine Bowie. Heidi Lynn DeWitt. Mindy Fulton Helmer. Andrea Laguerre. Class of 2021, or class 35, please rise and make your way here to the left. Julian Dunn. Kyle Anthony Kazmarek. Catherine Lynn Gallagher. Marilyn A. Kuhn. Bezad Vafaka, PhD. Class of 2022, let's have our first row. Daisy, stand up, please. Daisy Adriana Alva Mora. James Amos. Starbuck Julian Ballner. Matthew Oliver Barish. Brandy Lynn Begin. Sandra V. Berrios. Matt Berry. Christopher S. Bloomquist. Carl Henry Bame. Marion Miriam Bocois. Matthew Brown.
Oh my God. Sorry. Can't get good help these days.
Aaron Corbett. Matthew M. Kurtz. John James Deoldi. Zena Nelly Doe. Dallas B. Duncantel. Angela Nicole Dunham. Natasha Nasra Elhaj Hedinger. Yi Feng. Carl M. Fenstermaker. Catherine Elizabeth Ficken. John Edwin Fredericks. Zoe Caitlin Galindo. Alexis Rihanna Gabarino. Joseph Rocco Gaddy. Clay George. Skylar Brooke Hall. Richard Hayes. Jonathan Dale Jochimson. Christopher W. Loren. Danielle Laurel Love. Christina A. Mecklenburg. Fahim Mohammed. Andrew W. Nelson. Richard A. Nicholas. Ryan Richard Perkins. Benjamin L. Peterson. Taylor Ann Phillips. Robert Carlisle Rexwaller. Christine Elizabeth Schlicker. Brian Schutte. Leanne Rochelle Chaparro. Alex Shargorodsky. Shannon Michelle Stark. Mackie Swan. Zachary Matthew Taylor. John Tygreen. William P. Townsend. Chelsea Ann Trebe. Zachary P. Wells. Lauren N. Zarilli. Congratulations, class 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Oops. Hello, everybody. So the program says Amanda Fontenot, and if any of you know Amanda, I am clearly not Amanda. I am at least a foot taller, but unfortunately, as some of you know, it finally caught up to Amanda. I know, she went on the global trip with you all, she brought everybody medication, she did all the things, and it finally got her. So she's actually, it's a very mild case of COVID, but I am honored to stand here in her place. She's on Zoom, so you know, all of you that she brought medication and checked on you in the hotel, you might just want to send her a text. But so anyways, again, she's really sorry she can't be here. And somehow they decided I could speak in her place, which, you know, that seems to be their problem. No, it's fine. So anyways, so it is actually my distinct honor to recognize two groups of students today. The first is our students whose scholastic excellence has placed them in the top 20% of their class. And these students are invited to join what is called Beta Gamma Sigma. And this is a program that you get to be a part of for the rest of your lives. They get you forever, so no. Anyways, and I want to give a shout out to my class 34 and 35 peeps who also, just FYI, the blue and yellow cords signify this, so while my class 34 and 35 peeps who have their cords on may not be recognized, just so everybody knows. So, I am going to read your names and hopefully not push the podium off the stage. And I'll ask you to stand, and if we can hold applause just for a second, that would be awesome. So this year's members include Matt Brown. Or sure, we can clap, why not? Yeah, Matt! All right. Carl Fenster Maker. Carl. Liz Ficken. John Fredericks. Zoe Galindo, arguably the best hat and decoration of the cohort. Danny Love. Oh, she brought her crew. Chrissy Mecklenburg. Andrew Nelson. Yeah, Robert Rexwaller. Mackie Swan. Yes. And Zach Wells. Congratulations. So the next group of people I have the honor of recognizing are our military current members and veterans, of which this year I think we have 10, which is incredible. So I invite you all to allow us to recognize. You can see them. They have a red and white blue cordon as part of their regalia. They also added the challenge coin this year. I think you all got a challenge coin? No? People are like, what? You didn't, no, you didn't bring it, but you want to keep that, right? So drinks on whoever doesn't have their challenge coin, I think that's how it works. So anyways, if you would join me in recognizing our veterans and thank them for their service. Our first person is Starbuck Ballner. Matthew Kurth. Dallas Duncantel. Joe Gotti. Yes. Clay George. Richie Hayes, who I will say actually was deployed during his time. He was actually part of class 35 and deployed and came back and finished up. So congrats, Richie. Christopher Lauren. Richard Nicholas. Ryan Perkins. Zachary Taylor. John Tygreen. And William Townsend. So thanks again, if everybody can give one more round of applause for our veterans and our Scholastic. Thank you all. So it's my pleasure to announce the first student commentator or speaker. Look, he's already up and moving. That's how dedicated he is. So it's my honor to introduce Robert Rexwaller. I have heard a rumor that sometimes he's called the dad of the cohort. I don't know if that's accurate, but I've had the pleasure of knowing Robert and working with him as a student, always willing to volunteer, say hi, tell me a joke, just whatever. So I'm not surprised at all that he's been elected to speak on your behalf. So Robert, the stage is yours and kill him.
Thank you so much for the honor of being here. I didn't think I was going to get emotional standing up here, but I am. I wanted to start, again, as Jane Gordon thanked everybody in the audience for being here. It seems a little trite because we really need to be thanking you for everything you've done for us over the past 2 years. We picked a heck of a time to start an MBA, and through the last 20 months, all of you in this room have supported us through weekend classes, late-night Zoom meetings, and countless papers, presentations, projects, and case studies. For our families that supported us along the way, I know it wasn't easy for you. I particularly want to thank my wife, Charlene, my kids, Ava and John, without whose understanding and encouragement throughout the program, I would not be standing up here today, so thank you. I know it wasn't easy for us, class, but I like to think that even if we knew what we were getting into, even if we knew what was ahead of us, we would have still done it anyway. I also want to thank my teams from year one, Team Steele, Danny, Matt, John, and Lauren, and Team Launchpad, Daisy from year two, Daisy, Brandy, Clay, and Rich. I learned as much from you as I did from our professors. Your insights were invaluable to me, and I urge you to continue sharing these insights in your personal and professional lives. The OE MBA staff, Rachel, Paul, Kit, Jenny, Katrina, Carrie, Wendy, and Deb, thank you for all that you do to make this possible for us. I also need to call out Amanda, who I pestered constantly and has the patience of a saint. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for bringing me medication when I had COVID in Spain. Jim Coonan, my capstone advisor, who now knows more about mushroom farming than he ever planned to. And Doug Wilson, both of whose guidance I found absolutely invaluable. For our 12 veterans, thank you is not enough. The sacrifices you made are what allow the rest of us to have the security and freedom to follow our dreams in pursuing things like this program. I would also be remiss if I didn't speak directly to the women of this cohort. 40% of our cohort is women, which is higher than the average MBA, so yes. Although I would encourage the program to aim a little bit higher. Okay. You are some of the most intelligent, insightful, and caring people I have ever had the pleasure of working with. I am better because of you. I am better because you pushed me where I needed to be pushed, and you corrected my course when I started to go astray. The companies you run and work for are made better because of you. Gender gap in the C-suite is an ongoing problem in corporate America, and I cannot wait to see you shatter those ceilings. I would be lucky to work for any one of you. And Mackie, I'm still waiting on an offer letter. Okay, good, great, okay. For my classmates, I know we're forever labeled as Class 36. I can't help but call us the COVID cohort to myself, partially because of the global trip, but again, throughout the program, we came together again and again as a team to support one another through difficult classes, work issues, throwing X's instead of Y's, personal issues, and occasionally the anonymous sharing of study materials. We cultivated a fierce sense of community. Whatever the challenge, we were going to get through it together. And for me, I was laid off from my role very, very early on in the program. And the support I received from my classmates was absolutely unprecedented. Whether it be referrals, resume reviews, or mock interviews, I knew I could count on all of you. John T. Green, where's John? Was the very first person in our cohort to apply. He got accepted into the program in late 2020, just as COVID was beginning to spread. As COVID spread, all of us made the decision to apply to this program. And I believe that every one of us recognized a shifting paradigm, and we were presented with a choice. We could dig in our heels and attempt to maintain the status quo, or we could recognize that the world is changing and that we needed to change with us. For all of us, we not only made the choice to acknowledge it, but to act on it, to change with it, to educate ourselves and further our careers and knowledge. I urge you to continue this. Recognize the changing world, recognize where and how you can take action and shift your perspective. So there's really only one thing we need to ask ourselves, is how are we going to continue this tradition? How are we going to continue to recognize opportunities where change is beneficial, where change is necessary, and sometimes where change is profitable? And in true Class 36 fashion, there's only one way to answer that. It depends.
Thank you, Robert. All of you that are just, the students that are sitting here enjoying the experience, it's very nerve-wracking when you know you have to speak. So I know, Robert, hopefully like a big, you're good to go, so great job. Unfortunately, with Amanda being out, they are giving me double time at the microphone, so I apologize to all of you. But it's actually my distinct pleasure to introduce next the valedictorian from Class 36. So those of you that aren't aware, the valedictorian is essentially the person who has the highest GPA. This woman is an extraordinary student, very dedicated to her studies. Her family managed to balance family, job, everything. I was talking to Doug Wilson a little bit before the ceremony, and he told me it's one of the best capstone presentations he's seen in a really long time. Really incredible. So it's my honor, it's a word, right? Honor to actually announce the Class of 36 valedictorian, Danny Love. So Danny's Danny is going to actually introduce the Juliana Sowash Distinguished Faculty Award winner. So
Thank you.
the stage is yours.
Thank you. It's pretty hard to follow Robert's speech, especially given that I wrote mine at 1 p.m. this afternoon. So, so I'm going to start with some gratitude before I get into the award for teaching excellence. I can't think of a better way of spending a Sunday afternoon than with our friends, our families, the faculty of the University of Oregon, and our graduates' families as well. This has been an amazing journey filled with amazing, intelligent, and kind people. Every one of you makes this world a better place to be in, and I sincerely mean this. You guys, the graduate, it's been like a family. I deeply care about each and every one of you. I want to send a special thank you to my children. They've dealt with their mom being absent for 2 years. So my child, Reese, and my son, Sebastian, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you very, very much, and I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you to my dear family and friends for being here today, especially my husband, my mom, Micah, and Jessica, who provided so much support and stood by me in the good times and also in the bad times. I love you deeply. Thank you to my year one and year two teammates, Lauren, Matt, John, Robert, James, Sandra, Christine, and John. You are wonderful people, and we shared closely this journey together, through birth, through death, through celebrations, through loss, through a pandemic, and through the joy of accomplishment. Finally, a special thank you for Amanda Fontenot, Paul Allen, Deb Bauer, Wendy Sierra, Rachel Todd, and many others. This faculty has been very, very patient with us, very supportive, and they've had to deal with us for the past 2 years. So, I am more than honored to announce the Juliana Sowash Excellence in Teaching Award to two of our amazing professors, Doug Wilson and also to Andrew Nelson, who is on Zoom today and not able to be with us in person. Doug is both an accomplished Emirates senior instructor and business person. He brings his passion of marketing to life, leveraging his deep industry experience at companies like AT&T and Palo Alto Software. He teaches graduate and undergraduate studies at the University of Oregon. He is also the founder and owner of D.L. Wilson Consulting, which for over 30 years have provided consulting and management services ranging from startup ventures to Fortune 500 companies. And in his spare time, he is both the capstone coordinator and capstone advisor for the MBA program. Most instructors only had to put up with us for 6 to 8 weeks, but Doug had to put up with us for a whole entire year. Doug must be an angel. Andrew. Andrew is a professor of management and academic director for the Lundquist Center of Entrepreneurship. He received his PhD from Stanford University in 2007, and when I went to the school website, he had too many research and academic awards to even begin to list. It was just amazing. Notably, Andrew has received the Oregon Executive MBA Outstanding Faculty Award for 6 years in a row, from 2015 to 2020, which means that he must have been slacking in 2021. Andrew also survived our MBA global trip to Spain and Portugal, which was unfortunately impacted by our class's dramatic rate of community spread, but was made all the more pleasantly memorable by his continuous bowing to the Portuguese business leaders. But what impresses me most about Doug and Andrew is this: their kindness and an authentic desire to see each student succeed. Doug's indefatigable and impeccably organized efforts to ensure each one of us was successful in our capstone projects, his meaningful feedback, his kind smiles, his belief in us as individuals, Andrew's enthusiasm and vast knowledge that he shares with his students, the extra efforts he makes to provide his guidance to students seeking help in their new ventures, his positivity and also his kind smiles, his dedication. Please join me in saying thank you and congratulations to Doug and Andrew. Their effort and their authentic kindness, alongside with so many instructors, professors, and faculty at the University of Oregon, has guided the class of 36 to success. Thank you, Doug and Andrew. Oh.
Okay, so I promise this is the last time I'll be up here. Hooray for everyone. So it's my distinct pleasure. First of all, I've worked with Doug and Andrew for a very long time, and they're two no better humans and people. So Doug, thank you for everything that you do, not only for your students, but faculty and staff and administration, along with all the staff and faculty that are sitting up here. I can't thank you enough for allowing us to be part of this experience. So Doug, congratulations. Andrew, Nelson, wherever you are solving the world's problems, we appreciate you as well. So I get to have the distinct pleasure of announcing and introducing our second class commentator for your cohort. And she's on the move too, and you can probably tell because of her shoes, if nobody's seen the boots. So as you all know, Liz Ficken is it's no surprise you elected her to speak on behalf of your cohort. She might be the kindest, most welcoming first to volunteer for anyone, including staff, administration. Again, in her spare time, she's on the board of directors for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Columbia Northwest. So and some things like that outside of doing all the other things. She also is, most importantly, a proud dog mom to Luna. And so I'm just going to leave it there because that's probably the best thing. So best shoes in the room, and congratulations, Liz. Give her a hand of applause. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Class 34, 35, class 36. It is a distinct honor and privilege to have been selected to speak today. Family, friends, faculty, and staff, thank you for taking the time to share this special occasion with us. While I have the floor, I would like to wish my mom a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. She's over there. She also had to share her birthday with me when I graduated from high school, so let's hope this is a terminal degree. So when we learned that class commentators would be chosen from our peers, my year 2 teammate, Zach Wells, said, and I am censoring here, quote, "I hope that whoever speaks knows that we are not trying to be all nostalgic. We are done. We are just all so done," end quote. Well, great news, Zach, we are done. And while I cannot promise to not wax nostalgic, I can assure you that we are all really, really close to being done. Dwayne, Robert, and our other speakers have done a wonderful job articulating the journey we've undertaken together. We started when the world was on fire, literally. On our orientation call with the university president, he and I believe the students in Lane County and other places in the Pacific Northwest were notified that they were escalated to a new evacuation class. It was chaos. I remember thinking, it can really only go up from here. Little did I know what we had in store. Many of us decided that this was also a great time to bring a baby into the world, while also working full-time and being in this program. Matt Berry and his wife Maria kicked us off at like 18 days in with baby Carter. And then in February, Andrew Nelson, another second-year teammate, was so distracted by how intensely cute Xena Doe's baby Kenny was that there was a false start on an all-class operations simulation, and we had to collectively backtrack But to be fair, Zena's baby Kenny did outperform some class members by attending the global trip and has been a special guest at many of our social events. Go. 6 babies were born during the course of this program, and Chrissy will be the legal expert on this, but I do believe that any babies born within 9 months of today will be within the statute of limitations to be counted among class 36 members. So when a certain baby from an unnamed classmate arrives in December, and Starbuck, when your twins join us in August, they're gonna be a part of this class too. Yeah. During the course of this program, we did so much more than take our seats as students. We had a deeply human experience. We lost people we loved, we battled health issues, and we watched people that we loved do the same. I'll never forget our first class weekend with Dr. Ellen Schmidt-Devlin. We logged into our Zoom call, and she asked us how we were all doing that day, prompting us to put a number 1 to 10 in the chat. Ellen took a little inventory herself before disclosing that she herself was actually not okay. That almost immediately before class started, she found out that her best friend's husband had passed away to COVID-19, and that no, she was not okay. She shed a few tears and said, "A younger version of me would have tried to push through this, but not me and not today." This is a former Olympian, by the way. This is important, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one on this call who knows how this feels right now. And she was absolutely right. And yet, it wasn't just the discomfort that comes with growth and change and loss and a hurting world. As a class, we also rapidly acquired things to celebrate, besides all the babies. We bought new homes, we adopted new puppies and new kittens, we fell in love, one of us got engaged. Taylor, do you want to just show that rock off? There you go. 2 of us got married, and a significant portion of us got promoted. We changed jobs or careers and made major life choices that will have high impact on the professional work that we do for the rest of our lives. And we all made it here today. I'm intentionally calling out that we did this together because we did. Not a single person in this room today is not being impacted by or actively impacting this graduating class. For many of us, we are walking away from this program connected with true, authentic friendships. Many of these friendships started as teammates, and I'd like to personally thank my loves from year 1, Team Hawthorne plus spouses, and my bros on my year 2 team, Team Prometheus/YD. You have all forever changed my life. Other lasting relationships started in this program because of a shared language or because we felt seen or heard by a classmate in a unique and special way. Still others were solidified by a mutual love of running or Peloton. And still others just, you guys like to drink together. Most of us found at least one classmate who changed our lives or taught us something. And that's what I really want to leave here today with. Not just a sense of where we came from, but a sense of who we found along the way with us. Each and every one of you matters. This is a we program, and not just a we program as applied to our school teams, but this program is made possible by the key relationships in our lives. Our partners, our friends, our parents, our dog setters, our children, our communities made this possible. Now it's time to take our time, talent, and treasure and go back into our communities and make them better. 19 of us created capstones with value propositions that could make the world a better place through catalyzing change. 6 of us sit on nonprofit boards, as is Rachel Todd and Michael Martin Tellis, and I'm sure many other people in this crowd. So you are all in very close proximity with people who have resource and expertise to help plug you in and get you involved if you don't know where to start. There are so many things that need our attention right now. And there are so many talented, experienced, and uniquely qualified people sitting in this room today. I know that with the skills from this program and this amazing community around us, we can actualize my sentiment from the dawn of this program. Together, we actually can go up from here. Thank you. Go Ducks.
Thank you, Liz. And can I take a moment and can we applaud all of our amazing presenters today? Jane Gordon, Dwayne, Robert, and Liz. So it is now my pleasure and privilege to present an honor that we created 3 years ago. It's called the Oregon Executive MBA City of Bridges Award. Now, since the start of my time at the Oregon Executive MBA, I have been impressed by the connections that the program makes, and it provides for its students, staff, faculty, and alumni. I have also observed how using these connections can take the program and the curriculum to new levels. We created the City of Bridges Award to honor those who make these connections, the bridge builders who make our community strong. Prior recipients of this award have been capstone advisor Linda Weston and Professor Ed Warnock. I am pleased to announce that this year's City of Bridges honoree is Oregon Executive MBA Emerit Instructor of Marketing, Oregon Executive MBA Capstone Coordinator, and Capstone Advisor Doug Wilson. I'm going to provide some color here. So first of all, Doug's contributions to the Oregon Executive MBA are hard to sum up in a single speech. It's just not possible. But Doug is one of those individuals who is always thinking of the big picture. He approaches all of his roles as opportunities for continuous improvement. But it's Doug's talents as a connector of people and ideas that set him apart. Now, as a member of the Oregon Executive MBA Academic Committee, Doug engages with students regularly at scheduled listening sessions. At a November listening session, a big takeaway was that students continue to experience frustration with inconsistency in our course Canvas sites. I know, shocking, right? For those of you unfamiliar with Canvas, it's a course management system that allows professors to post grades, information, syllabus, and assignments online. It's used by universities and colleges across the world. Our problem? Students felt that they were wasting time trying to find important key information. They reckoned it to an Easter egg hunt. Why couldn't these courses be standardized? Well, Doug saw this as an opportunity and immediately went to work. He called it the Canvas Homepage Project. And literally within a matter of days, Doug connected our program with the University of Oregon's instructional designer, George Reese. He looped in Deb Bauer, our academic director, and brought in our very own Carrie Brunson, and the team went quickly to work, iterating on ways to improve a homepage that would work for all of the Canvas courses. So by January of 2022, beta tests were launched, and in mid-February, after a November listening session, a Canvas homepage project was launched across the entire program. Doug did reach out to all of the faculty to ensure that he had their buy-in, and I'd like to share Professor Andrew Nelson's response. Let me get this straight. You and George have created a rock star homepage. I love it. And now you're willing to help me have one too, and you're even willing to set it up? How about yes, absolutely. So in March of 2022, Canvas Home Project was launched. All of our Canvas courses now have a home page that has these shortcut buttons that take you directly to specific information that makes it much easier to access the courses. And while it is still a work in progress, we feel like this has fulfilled our students' desire for consistent and intuitive Canvas organization and navigation. What a feat. One more thing I wanted to mention. In fall of 2019, when Doug took on the role of capstone coordinator, he immediately took on the redesign of an outdated capstone guide. And to call it a reboot is an understatement. Now, when approaching the ways to improve the capstone process, Doug solicited and continues to solicit on a daily basis feedback from a variety of subject area experts. In essence, Doug has created a knowledge base that pooled the wisdom of our vast community. He regularly meets with our capstone advisors who have years of venture funding and startup experience. He utilizes the tools and knowledge of our research librarians, and he solicits academic insights from our accounting and finance instructors to ensure that the vision of the capstone is aligning with our curriculum. And finally, he learns from every student. He reflects on your experience and he adjusts with each new data point. Doug, with the help of his team of many, crafted a robust, well-designed capstone guide, rebooted the templates, and created processes that has elevated the capstone for all of our students. Now, these are just a handful of the kinds of ways that Doug has had a positive impact on our program, our students, and our curriculum. Doug, we are so proud that you are part of the Oregon Executive MBA. You are a connector of people par excellence, and you truly embody the spirit of the City of Bridges Award. Please join me in congratulating Doug Wilson.
Okay, so I'm all that's standing between you and refreshments. I have 3 young kids, and they each wriggle in their seats every time they see the refreshments actually come out. And what I tell them is, if you wait just a little bit longer, you'll get a little bit stronger and a little bit taller. So for each of you, just a little bit longer, I promise. And we've recognized some outstanding faculty. Doug is an amazing faculty member. We're super grateful to have him. Of course, this program is filled with amazing faculty members, people who take their time to typically drive all the way up to Portland and share their expertise with our students. There are also many staff members, non-teaching folks, who are running behind the scenes as well to try to make things run smoothly. And we like to try to recognize at least one of those people each year as well. It's called the Oregon Executive MBA Service Award, and of course this individual that will receive this award today will embody what we would consider to be the heart and the spirit of what it means to be an Oregon Executive MBA staff member. So a few short months after this person was hired, I distinctly remember turning to one of my colleagues and saying, "How did we ever get along without her?" Her years of expertise in graduate student programs, career coaching, and academic advising made an immediate impact on our program and the student body. I think you would agree. You've more than likely felt her influence either directly or indirectly over the last few years, and maybe it was through your new student onboarding process, navigating your virtual or in-person global trip, or helping you plan and make a career shift. Although her influence may be broadly felt, it is independently and individually experienced through her unique personal touch. Whether she is ensuring you're comfortable while ill abroad, or bringing you a special container of her favorite Cajun seasoning all the way from her hometown in Louisiana, she goes the extra mile for all of us, in a way that is difficult to convey in a brief acknowledgement, to be sure. So I hope that each of you take the time to send an individual note of thanks to someone who can't be here with us today, but I wanted to say congratulations to our Oregon Executive MBA Service Award winner, Amanda Fontenot.
Thank you, Paul, and congratulations, Amanda. And I am truly the last person between you and the reception. So I have the distinct pleasure of wrapping up today's ceremony, but I have to tell you that on that Sunday afternoon in June of 2019, I could have never imagined that it would be 3 years before we would be celebrating here in person. And yet here we are. And I am so thrilled that we have members of Class 34 and Class 35 with us here today. But as they will attest, we made the best out of our Zoom commencements. They were filled with joy and as intimate as a virtual commencement could be on Zoom. But I, for one, am glad that I don't have to worry about Zoom blurring out the entire top of my head because Zoom thinks that the graduation cap is your background, or looking out at an audience of people mouthing, "You're on mute." But seriously, celebrating with you today in person means everything. The famous Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung had a theory that he called the collective unconscious. He believed that human beings are connected to each other and their ancestors through a shared set of experiences. And we use this collective consciousness to give meaning to our world. Today is one of those shared experiences. For me, just hearing Pomp and Circumstance play as the graduates entered the room activated such a powerful emotional response in me, a feeling of absolute joy. So to all of you celebrating with us here today, including those of you live streaming, thank you for being here and for giving meaning to our world. Now, I'd like to begin my comments. I know we've said a lot of thanks. I want to be intentional about the thanks as we're closing. I want to thank the Class 36 Commencement Committee, Dallas Duncantel, Natasha El-Haj Hedinger, Liz Ficken, John Dioldi, and Shannon Stark. You gave us your unfiltered feedback. It was unfiltered, let me put it that way. They were direct. And today's event is better because of it. And you got things done. I'd like to thank Deb Bauer, who is unable to be with us here today, the Oregon Executive MBA Academic Director, Finance Instructor, and Global Trip Lead. She has been a tireless advocate for our program. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the other members of the Academic Committee who helped shape the direction of the Oregon Executive MBA, Doug Wilson, Josh Gordon, and Nagesh Murthy. And next, I'd like to recognize the remaining faculty and coaches who are with us today. Capstone Advisor Linda Weston, I see you there in the back. Capstone Advisor and Oregon Executive MBA Class of 23, Jen Wielander. Team Coach and Oregon Executive MBA Class of 2018, Michael Martintellis. And I have to give a major shout out to our amazing staff. Their support of our students on their journey and whose dedication makes this a truly one-of-a-kind experience. And I have to say, they make this place feel like home. Thank you to Paul Allen, Kit Alderdice, Carrie Brunson, Amanda Fontenot, Jenny Leander, Katrina Loganamothe, Wendy Sierra, and Nana Tuffin. And my final bit of thanks, you may not have ever met these folks. I want to acknowledge the behind-the-scenes tech workers who managed the chaos of being thrown into a Zoom world with zero notice, and they made us all look very good. Doug Burzell, Sean Curtin, David Nidbornik, Amelia Straub, and Susan Bang. Thank you all so much. Now, as I mentioned earlier, commencements, in my humble opinion, are perfect moments. They are one of those opportunities where we come together and celebrate the end of one part of our lives and the beginning of another. I've often heard our graduates say, I came to the Oregon Executive MBA for an education, but instead, I experienced a transformation. To say that this program is just an academic journey, it's a reduction of what we really are. When all of you signed up for the Oregon Executive MBA, you joined an unpredictable world filled with possibilities. I consider you all to be brave and adventurous voyagers. You had busy lives. You had accomplished careers, obligations, families. There were single parents balancing careers and unusually challenging home situations. And yet, you collectively wanted more for your lives. From the day you entered the program, you became empowered to become the person you never knew you could be, filled with curiosity and a desire for discovery and growth. And as I look at all of our graduates here today, I see a group of amazing humans who are less concerned about who you have been and more concerned about who you are becoming. I am deeply grateful and appreciative for your sharing this journey with me. This past 20 months has been magical. And there simply aren't words to express how proud I am of each and every one of you. You are doers, thinkers, builders, and believers. And your journeys are just beginning. You've got the power to be and do anything you want in this world, and I cannot wait to see where the journey takes you. So on behalf of the Oregon Executive MBA and the University of Oregon, congratulations to the graduates. You are an extraordinary group of professionals, and we have enjoyed supporting you every day of your journey. And thank you to the family, friends, and the corporate sponsors for sharing in this important celebration of accomplishment. Please join us as we cheer the Executive MBA class of 2022, as well as the classes of 21 and 20. Graduates, please rise. This is it. And graduates, please recess.